Hello, hello, and welcome to more Marble Island Roll Gamedev. Yeah. The game's coming together fairly well. Hang on, let's just drop down our marble and roll around for a second to have some fun. Let's see if we clip through the environment. Yep, there it is. If anybody knows how to make that not happen, I would appreciate the help. That's one of the many bugs that we're dealing with, is the fact that I keep on clipping through the environment when I'm moving at a high speed, and I'd like to make that not happen without having to cap the player's speed. Another thing is that I'm just going to list all of the issues that I don't know the solution to, so that people who know better than me watching these can give it in the comments right away. I want to make these bob up and down and spin, these golden marbles, but they aren't. I'll look at the code in a second, but I thought I coded it right, but for some reason they aren't. What's another one of the issues I have been having? That giant, tree branch in the sky. I want to make that square have a tiled texture, not a stretched texture. I don't know how to make it tile instead of stretch. I'd appreciate anybody who is willing to help me figure that out. Those are the only big persistent issues I can think of that I am still in need of help of, so experts on Unity, please fill me in on that. Here is the code for the golden marbles. I don't know what I've done wrong to make them not animate. I could have sworn I'd set something up in the coding for it to animate, but maybe I just didn't even set it up. I don't know. But yeah. So, last time we got these walls done, and I think it's looking very nice so far. But that resulted in us fucking around a lot with the terrain in this area, and I think we need to retouch up the center's terrain a little bit, you know, reintegrate the paths that are supposed to exist and all of that. And so part of that, we're going to start off by taking out the... Let's go to the landscape tool, the paint tool, and let's just get rid of the sand path that's here. Eventually, we want to replace this whole sand path with, like, a dirt or gravel path of some kind. I know that. But for right now, let's erase the sand path and draw a new one. Dun, dun, dun. Hang on, give me a second. Oh god, I love the Outer Wilds soundtrack. Say, is this gonna be going up on YouTube? Give me a second. The 12th? So, yeah. I can talk about how the fact that I just beat Hypnospace Outlaw. God, that game is so good. I'm so heartbroken that I've beaten it. One of the best games I've ever played. Go play Hypnospace Outlaw if you haven't. To give us, go play it, beat it, then watch my playthrough of it. To give a pitch of what the game's about for those who don't know, Hypnospace Outlaw, you play at, it is an alternate history 1999, and you are an internet detective. You work for a company that has made a internet browser alternative, and they're worried about getting sued over copyrighted content, so it is your job to go and look for it. In the course of your job, you'll begin to find yourself falling down a rabbit hole of conspiracies relating to cult, potential murder, and other such crazy stuff. And it's also a wonderful simulation of what Web 1.0 was in early 90s internet, and it is a delightful game. It is one of the best games I've ever played. Go play it. Hypnospace Outlaw, Outer Wilds, two of the best games I've ever played in my life. Alright, so let's continue working on this jungle. Also, I'm gonna shoot out. I'm one guy who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing making this game. If you're an amateur coder and you want to, join in on my project and help me out by maybe providing assets, being a better coder, anything, then head on over to my Discord linked down below and, you know, show me some examples of what you can do. And I cannot afford to pay you by any means. This would be entirely volunteer work, but what I would do is work with you to create a contract that basically says you will get a cut of all profits made when I eventually sell this game. So, like, if I get help from one person, we will do a 50-50 split. I'm gonna sell the game for $30 a pop after whatever Steam's... Or, I don't know if it's $30 a pop. That's my current brain of what I'm thinking. That could change later. But I'll sell the game for a price, and whatever price I sell, after Steam's, like, take of it comes away, you will get 50%. If I get 2 devs, then it will be split 3 ways, 4 devs, 4 ways. You know, I will evenly split my money with whoever the fuck decides that they want to help me out as a full-time dev. If you're not a full-time dev and you're just a guy who hops in and gives me advice, I'll thank you by mentioning you in the credits. Like, hang on, who's the person who early on in the series gave me a bunch of super helpful advice? Because I want to go ahead and thank them again right now, because boy did they help a lot with answering a lot of my questions. Motherfucking user... Oh, come on. Hang on. Because Discord's in streamer... Distros over on Discord. Thank you so much for all the help you gave me early on in this series again. If you're still watching. So, oh, Jesus. Alright, so yeah, let's draw up a new sand path. With the... Now that the walls are laid out differently. Hang on. So I think I want it to go like this now. And then curve underneath that tree still. I still want to have... Over here, the path will likely switch to asphalt. In the long term, this isn't even going to be sand. It's going to be a dirt road. And I want to keep this as a straight road. Yeah, I got to get more textures into my game eventually. Alright, now it's about connecting these 2 paths in an interesting way. We're going to stick mostly to the terrain that I set up previously. So that little curve there. Alright. And now let's go play with sculpting the terrain around a little bit some more to make it interesting and fun. To start off, give me my flatten tool. Make all of this to a similar height. The hard part is going to be doing it without fucking up the surrounding air, the surrounding walls. I want to add a day-night cycle to the game too, I think. Although, I debate... So this is the thing I've actually been debating in my head. Do I want to have a day-night cycle, or do I want to make it as you get closer to the game, the sun begins to set? So, like... That's something I've considered. What if, like, the sun starts, like, at the start of the game with, like, the sun rising on the coast over there? Or maybe the sun rising in the distance over there would be better. No, I think rising on the coast is what I'd want. So the sun, at the start of the game, the sun's rising over there, and with every marble you get, the sun would slowly advance up in the sky more and more over that way, until at the end of the game, when you have enough to climb the volcano, the sun is setting in the coast over there behind the volcano. And then maybe once you beat the game, it initiates just a normal day-night cycle. That's something I've thought about. Of course, I would have to figure out how the fuck to code that. Alright. Start off by making sure the terrain is fun and interesting in this little space. Smooth tool. Fix that divot there. Let's get out the flatten tool again. Make sure that the dirt road is mostly easily navigable. We'll move some of the trees around later. Let's do a little bit of ramp game here to smooth this out. Yeah, well, I want variation in terrain. I don't want the terrain to be like, you know, having a lot of jagged, sharp edges in it. Because I want it to be something that the player can fairly easily roll across. My brother's been talking to me about how he's been watching the Gamedev videos, and now he's just like, I want to play that fucking game. Let me play your game. Let me start playing your game. I'm like, homie, hold on. It's not ready. He's a big fan of like collectathon, the collectathon genre, as well as rage platformer type games. And like those things combined make him very much want to try the game. But I will say, if I can hammer him down again for like get him on camera, when I beat the game, I would 100% like to make two brothers play Marble Island Roll and make him play my game through. Oh yeah, over here needs a lot of smoothing out. When I was setting up the terrain here, things got janky. I want to make sure the dirt road is, for the most part, the lowest part of the terrain. There's been some other games floating in my head I want to make, but I'm like, I don't know enough about game design to make them. I don't remember if I've mentioned these in the past, so forgive me for repeating myself. But the two that always jump in my mind lately, one is, there's a bunch of people jumping on the, let's make a Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie horror game. And I'm just like, that's fucking stupid. The Steamboat Willie horror game is fucking stupid. But you know what would be really fucking good? A Steamboat Willie 3D platformer collectathon game. Based off public domain cartoons where the main playing characters are Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and Mickey Mouse, both public domain characters now, and the levels are based off old public domain animations like Betty Boop animations, Mickey Mouse animations, Oswald animations. And, you know, you can build out a fun, like, story narrative. Like, in my brain, it would be a two-player platformer game. Mickey Mouse would be like he would have two main traits. So Oswald and Mickey would be brothers via adoption, but they would talk about how they have the same father. When they talk about that, or not by adoption. That's what I meant. They'd be stepbrothers. That's what I was looking for. They're stepbrothers. They have the same dad. That's why they're both black. And words. Words, I can use them. Mickey, because he works on the Steamboat Willie, he would be an engineer and be able to interact with machinery around the map and activate them. And his other trait is that he'd be the stronger of the brothers. And I might even make my version of Mickey for this game slightly more barrel-chested than the traditional Mickey in order to make him more, you know, unique and copyrightable. Meanwhile, Oswald would be a little bit more tall and lanky because his bit would be that he can run faster, jump higher, and has a flutter jump by spinning his ears. And the game would be incited by, I think that the Mad Doctor is a public domain character from old Mickey cartoons. I'd have to look into it to be sure. The Mad Doctor would kidnap Oswald and Mickey's love interests, Minnie, and I don't think I'd be able to give her the cat the name that she has now because that name came out recently enough that it's not a public domain name, Oswald's cat girlfriend. So I'd have to give her a new name. But the two of them get kidnapped, and the whole game would have you going after them. And the big mechanic of the game is that at the start of the game, there'd be color everywhere. But it's the villains didn't intentionally kidnap the girlfriends. Hang on. Is my... God damn it, does my music playlist not loop correctly? Give me a second. No, come on. I hate it when that happens. I set the playlist to loop, and it doesn't loop. Alright, come on. Now it's set to loop. Sorry about that. It happened. That's been an issue happening a lot with, like, even outside of stream, where my music playlists don't loop. But yeah. The villain was trying to steal all the color from the world. And so the game would start with color and become black and white because of the actions of the villain at the start. And, ooh, I don't like that bumpy bump there. Hang on. So yeah, the villain has, like, fucking, you know, he's stolen the color. And as you play through the game, you're having to break his color stealing machine and return color to the world. And so the game would be entirely black and white on the onset, and as you play the game, color comes back. I think that would be a really fun game, and it would be, you know, a 3D platformer where you're going around. It'd be very much in the vein of like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, where you'd have missions where you have to utilize vehicles, and the hub world would be the Mississippi River. And you'd be sailing the Steamboat Willie up and down the Mississippi as the main way of getting around. Which I think would be very fun conceptually. And early on you might have to like, the first boss fight might be Pete, who you'd have to convince to let you use the boat via fighting him. Because he's a big old bruiser jackass of a character. So that's like the big game idea one I have. The other one I want to do is a Dishonored / Prey style immersive sim game set in a apocalyptic environment. Because I love Dishonored and Arcane's games, and I love Fallout and apocalypse settings. I think it'd be fun. Excuse me. Hang on. Pick a mid-height. There we go. Just trying to smooth out some of this area's transition of height. Alright, now let's roll around. Let's save. Oh, hang on. The path clearly still isn't set, because look at how weird that looks. Let's get our flatten tool out. Get our smooth tool. Smooth a lot of this. Alright, let's get our marble out. And roll around a little bit. Da-da-bum. Oh, it didn't click the button properly, that's what was wrong. I was like, why is it taking so long to load? Ooh, okay, I'm okay with that crack being visible under there. Alright. I want to put some trees over there for sure. Got a little bit of a dip here. I like that. Ooh, this spot needs some smoothing. Alright, let's drop down over here and roll in again. But yeah, like in the Steamboat Willie game, there'd be like missions where you have to fly planes and do little dogfights. Missions where you might have to do something on the Steamboat Willie. There'd be platforming missions. Because like I like that those 90s platformers where you are given a million different game modes that you're rapidly shifting between. But for the love of God, the final boss should be primarily be a platforming segment. Don't make the final boss a gameplay style that had, as of yet, not been introduced at all in the game. Crash Bandicoot. I can name more games if I had more time to think about it. I hate it when games do that. Because, like, the final boss should be a test of all the mechanics you spent most of the game doing. So, like, have a couple of, maybe have, like, a flight segment leading up to the final boss, and, like, the different vehicle segments leading up to it. But when you get to the actual final boss moment itself, it's a platforming puzzle. It should just be one big platforming puzzle, nothing else. God damn it. Alright, this is looking good so far. I don't like that bump there, so let's smooth there a little more. Alright. Yeah, so you can roll up here and approach the gate. And it's like, go, Bucko, come back later. Oh, excuse me. I don't like how high of a divot that is, so here's what we're gonna do. Is that just... Oh no, it's a shadow being cast on it. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go ramp here, add ramp, pull out the smooth tool, smooth all of this out. Oh. Again, if anybody knows how to fix that problem, please let me know. Alright, that feels a little better. Alright, and that leads us up to there. Alright, so here's what I want to do now. How do you go down? Shift click to lower. We are going to weaken the brush a bit. And across all of the dirt roads, I want to just push down a little. My hope being that this will make the dirt road divot in a little bit more, encouraging the player to stick to the road more. Or at least early on, before they start experimenting. Alright, now let's roll through again and see how it feels. And I've also introduced a little bit of bumpiness to the road, which I like. I like the terrain being a little bit abnormal to roll through. Yeah, okay. And now on the flip side, I want to use that same thing I just used. Let's just raise up most of this. Actually, hang on. Let's brush size up a little. Just lightly lift all of this terrain. I don't have to do as much over here because a lot of it over here is already significantly higher. Alright. Let's roll around a little bit again. Give me a moment. I don't like how that spot right there looks, so let's just quickly brush size down a little. Smooth out that little groove. Yeah, I like that. We gotta fix all the floating trees still at some point. And place more trees to make this jungle feel a little more dense. But so far, yeah, I'm digging the terrain and how everything feels and looks. When I do the Two Brothers Play Marble Island roll, it's probably gonna be before the game even comes out, and be a full playthrough of the game by my brother as one of the first people to do a full playthrough of it. I want to smooth this space because I don't like how it looks. Because then he'll sort of play test it and I can fix things I don't like about the game. Alright. And I think I want to do a little bit of fun with the terrain painting now. Let's use this rock in a very small brush size. And we're going to sort of paint up this sheer edge here. Because it's such a steep cliff. I think painting it to be rocky is a fun idea. Give this implication to the player of, okay, maybe I shouldn't be trying to force my way up that steep ledge. But when they see it get grassy over here, they're like, ooh, hang on. That looks like an area that's intended for me to go across. And you can still try and force your way up that, and maybe you'll succeed, but this is just to serve as a subtle discouragement of that idea. And in the same vein, put a little bit of rock here, so the player gets like, okay, this is supposed to be hard to climb. Alright, I think that's all of the sheer cliff ends that I wanted to paint. Let's increase the fall off size a little bit. And what does it look like over here because of how I rose the terrain and lowered other? Yeah, I like how all that looks. And let's go ahead back to sand as the stand-in texture. And smooth off the bottom of this a little bit. Ooh, more than I meant to do there. Yeah. And then switch over to grass and trim at the top. Damn it. Alright, and now pull out the texture smoothing tool. Hang on, that's too much. Brush size. Oh, brush size up. Fall off up. Strength down. And what does that look like when you're rolling through it? Ooh, I did not do with a smoothing right there. And I actually think I want to quickly, because it looked a little jaggedy there, just smooth that space a little bit in general. I wouldn't mind getting a texture that looks like foliage on the ground and scattering that around a little bit on the terrain in this area as well. Oh yeah, that looks awful. Hang on. Alright, well, oh my god, why is that coming off so jagged looking? Alright, we're gonna keep the little bit of rocky texture there. It adds character. Alright, so yeah, now though, as you're rolling through here, as you come around, you can see the mossy sort of rock there. Giving an implication of like, maybe not climb up that. The sand's reaching a little higher than I'd like. Also, goddamn, why does it all look so fucking awful all of a sudden? Awful and jagged. Let's repaint a little bit of the grass, the rock. Hang on. Size, please. Get right. There we go. Get the smooth tool again. And just sort of wave it around a little. Alright, how does that look up close as a marble now? Alright, pretty good. It's not looking horribly jagged, which is good. Yeah, okay. That looks nice. It feels like a good subtle indicator of like, hey, stay on the path. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting, like I said, a dense foliage on the ground texture to scatter around here a little bit, maybe. And I gotta find a good dirt texture to use for dirt roads. We gotta increase the density of the jungle and adjust all the trees that are here that got fucked up when we messed with the terrain. But so far, this is coming together very nicely. And I really gotta fix that leaf texture thing so I can bring it down and see how much it improves the environment. That's been one of the most annoying things to, like, Google and figure out how to make it look good. Is how the fuck am I, like, I desperately want the texture on here to be tiled and not stretched. But I don't know how. I'm looking at the sky sphere. That's the wrong thing. I want to be looking at this cube. No, this cube. There we go. So yeah, Please, if anybody knows how to get this texture to actually tile for me, let me know. Cube, edit assets. Edit. Ability, transform, pivot, attached. UV editor? Will that help? I don't know. I don't want to fuck with this because I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah. I would appreciate somebody, like, if anybody knows a really solid tutorial that will help me, throw it my way. If somebody just knows what to do, tell me, because, like, long term, this is supposed to be... I have an exact height I want it to sit at. But it's supposed to be down here, tucked just below the rock terrain, and set to be tiled so that it can make the jungle feel like it has a much denser canopy over it. But right now, it's just... oh, fuck. It's just casting giant leaves on everything. And I don't want giant leaves, I want loads of little leaves. Like, you can already tell just by what it's doing right here how nice it's gonna look once it's fixed. So, like, pretty please, if somebody knows how to fix it, let me know. Rendering. Visible actor hidden in game. Draw virtual textures, array element. Reverse cutting. Come on. I'm now just reading some of these to see. Yeah, I don't know how to make it do the thing that I want it to do, and that's what makes me sad. I really, really want the texture to, like, tile, but it's not. And I don't know how to fix that. Because that's going to be key to making this jungle look really fucking good. Anyway, I think with that touching up of the terrain, we've made good progress for this week. I got started a lot later than I normally would, so, like, this isn't going to be as long of one. It's really late at night right now. Like, it's, what time is it? Yeah, it's 5 a.m. right now, so I should lay down soon. So, I hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Marble Island Roll. If anybody knows how to fix the problems I've been having, I'd very much appreciate you giving a heads up. Love all you very, very much, and ta-ta for now.